What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. We're sitting at about $335 right now. I do think we're about to move up from here a little bit. I don't know if we found our low. I'm still not quite confident on that. The weekly RSI, in my opinion, doesn't look the best. It would call for slightly lower prices than potentially we're at now, right? Looking at the daily, we do have some bullish divergence in the mix. It is printed. It is there. So that move, you know, this bearish engulfing candle here that we had right here on the day of the 7th of July did have me convinced that we were absolved of moving up here before moving lower. But it looks like we actually might have this move up. We're going to move up to about $365 to $400, somewhere in that range, and then potentially move back down and move lower. Or maybe we hold a higher low. Who knows? It's not the easiest to say. This is a perfect setup, in my opinion, for some kind of inverse head and shoulders look, for sure. The RSI and other indicators might help us better understand it as we go on. I actually want to look at the ribbon real quick. Just throw that on there. Yeah, you got a little separation. Moving up would make sense, and then moving up to the ribbon itself, right there, where the resistance point would come in. You might even go into it a little bit. That literally fits with the bullish divergence that we have. And then from there, reject and then go down. That tends to be the case. Just like here, you moved up, you had some separation, moved back to it, and then you went up. We're probably not going to do this to the downside. Okay, I'm not calling for that. But I would be calling for is a move down probably to your 6.9 area of this fib, right? Right around 260. I think 260, 270, 280 itself, that's probably where we're going to go, where we're going to find our low. And that's not a far stretch. Our current low right now is at about 288, so calling for like $10 to $20 lower, that's not dramatic at all. So it all depends. If we can get back above $400, getting above $400 would get me excited on a price perspective. On a fib perspective, getting above $409 is what would really be the ticket, right? Bouncing off your 618 and then closing above your 382 like that, like genuinely a tip like this and then moving all the way up to your 382 and closing above it would be a very powerful indication, in my opinion, that we are about to see extensions of this move here. We're going to see $922 to $1,267, somewhere in that range. That would be happening now, right? And when I say now, that doesn't mean right now, right? It more just means that this is our low. We are in the middle of that move now. It could take this much time. Maybe by early next year we're up here, right? I don't think it's going to take that much time. I think it would be shorter. Bitcoin Cash does like to move up very fast whenever it does decide to move up, right? Very fast. It's just when it decides to move up. So I mean, if it was February, that's why it's doing this. Because if it was February of next year, that would make me wrong, man. I got to bet. I'm in that betting pool with the Bitcoin Cash podcast guys. Shout out to the Bitcoin Cash podcast crew, Jet and Jeremy. Sorry, I drew a blank on your name there, boys. I was like, it's J and J. I had Jet in my mind, but for some reason I want to say J, and I'm like, it's not J, it's Jeremy. Shout out to them, because they're taking a poll, or they're taking a poll of votes for where Bitcoin Cash is going to be by the end of the year, and I predicted 1,700. And at the time, when was that? That was after my cruise. That was back when we were at like $500, right? Something like that, probably. We just had this pullback, I think. It had to have been. It was after my cruise, so yeah. $400 to $500, somewhere in that range, right? And I was thinking at that time, I was like, 1,700 is that was my guess, and I labeled that guess for a reason. But I did say that we could be up as high as like $3,000 even, right? We could be beyond that. So, but with this current downtrend in mind, with the current pullback we've had, that $1,700 price is looking a little bit more realistic, in my opinion. So time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But if it's not by the end of this year, then potentially, sometime in like the first 2 months of next year, something like that would make sense as well. So anyways, guys, up and then down, we'll see. If we can get above $400, again, based on a price perspective, $400. The reason why I say price perspective, this is what I mean, right? Here's your price, $400 right there, resistance point, support point, right? Relatively speaking, if you break above that, that's nice to see. From a fib perspective, this is what I mean from a fib perspective, in case anyone's ever thrown off by the terminology, from a low to a high, getting above the 382 here at $409, the 382 from a fib perspective, bouncing off the 618, breaking above the 382 would indicate to me that we are in the midst of a move. We have found our low. We're in the midst of a move that's going to take us up to $900 to $1,266 and beyond. Absolutely, we could go and beyond. And you know what? Bitcoin Cash actually does like its 200 level. It really does. Right? I have shown a few examples of where that's happened, where it liked its 200 level. Is this it right here? Did it? Yeah, look at that. From this high to this low, right up above its 200 level there. There was something back over here too where it did the same thing. Maybe it was this right here, top to bottom. Yeah, literally tipped it right there at the 200. I mean, it does. This is something new. I look at the fibs, dude. How many times have I drawn these fibs, you guys? I didn't have the 200 level drawn on there for a long time, but I put it on the other day because I found it relevant in a different chart, and I left it, and apparently Bitcoin Cash does actually have a little, and those aren't the only two examples. There's actually more examples than that, but I'm not going to go over it. That's not what the point of this video is. Okay, one more. From this high to this low right here. Boom, 200 right there. You see, it just keeps showing up. So again, potentially our next move could be up to there. And by the way, if this is our low, that would be implied if we break above $410, $409 essentially, right? It might even be implied if we break above $400. But if it's not our low and we go lower, well, then that 200 level only goes higher, right? Let's say our low's at 262, right? Because I'm saying 260 to 270, 280 might be our area. Let's say it's at the low end of that. We're up at like $2,000, you guys. We're up above last cycle's highs, potentially, right? And each time it actually did go, except for back here where it literally tipped the 200, each time it did go a little bit above the 200. So right above that's $2,000. So that could happen. Anyways, that's all I got to say. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Shout out to the House of the Dragon. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. I'm not worried about the price action at all. It's a perfect day to buy some Bitcoin Cash, you guys. I wish, actually, we'll see. I was going to say I wish I had some extra cash. I might have some extra cash soon. We'll see. It all depends. But hopefully I can get some extra cash to throw in before we take off. If not, buying Bitcoin Cash below $500 is a steal, man. Absolutely it is. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.